What is up, everybody? Killing Spree 37 here. Today, we are going to be making Scorpion for Mortal Kombat, and he is in TUCAF, guys. Go ahead and root for him, but today we're going to be making him. The mask is an accessory. Technically, you have to buy it. You don't have to actually use coins. You can get enough fights in, and more than likely, you'll be able to finally unlock it. Now, the lightest skin tone number 1, and then we're gonna go with body number 8, which is going to give him the broad shoulders, enough for the V. I did tweak the face a lot throughout the video, so I am going to be putting it here for you guys to look at the final product, and then we'll get into the tattoo placement right after this. Remember, if it is too fast, guys, go ahead and pause it after every section, or you can slow it down via YouTube settings. After this, guys, I will tune in with you to do the tattoos. And we're back, guys. Hopefully that wasn't too difficult for you guys. I tried to go a little bit slower, but with the speeds being adjusted, you can actually slow it down. Don't forget to remove every single bit of hair on your character, including the eyebrows, as it'll free up the space from the forehead, which we're gonna use for the eyes. Go ahead and start off with shape number 10, which is the black triangle. Get it kind of arced to where you can kind of get the nice little outline of the eyes. And you can go ahead and use red or yellow for the eye color. I went with yellow because red didn't seem too great. It actually kind of seemed a little too dark, as you can see here. But you can see right here, I used red. Put it underneath the triangle because it's going to be the base of the color of the eyes that we're actually putting in here. There you go. Take a look at it real quick. The other black square is to come underneath it, under here, so it kind of has like a little cutoff. Then you're gonna go around with a black square to cut the eyes down so it's actually just like a nice little shape. I call them spawn eyes, but they didn't really come out like spawn eyes. There you go. Switch it to yellow. It looks better in yellow. If you ask me, it looks better in yellow. You guys can play around with the skin tone. Maybe that's wide enough for you. For me, it wasn't. There you go. Now, right underneath here, a triangle. Really important. You want to separate that yellow so it doesn't look like a visor. Just make sure it's separated. Put it right underneath there and then play with it as much as you want until the eyes look mean. They look cool to you, however you like to look at it. Take a step back. You're done with the head, guys. That is pretty much it for the face. Like I said, you need the accessory, the face mask, and then a couple tattoos and some sculpting to hide the eyes so you can actually make your own eyes. Now we're gonna be focusing on the rest of the costume, which is the black and yellow ninja suit from Mortal Kombat 1. To each its own, we're gonna start off with a few different shapes, guys. It's really important that you guys focus on this, so pay attention as much as possible. I started out a different way. You can do it like this and then add the yellow shapes. It's a little bit tricky, guys. I did that with the original character that's in TUCAF as of right now, and it didn't really look that well. So what I ended up doing was just doing it with a yellow triangle, which is gonna give you that V shape of the yellow, and then you're gonna hit it with a black triangle for the middle. See, that looks a lot better. And then we are going to duplicate it and go to the back of Scorpion. There you go, you line it up perfect. Looks pretty good. The shoulders are gonna need some work, guys. Don't be afraid to add in a yellow color eventually. Right here, I'm realizing that the black, it wasn't that great, So from here, we are going to add the black triangle like I was telling you earlier. You don't want to make it too thick to where the yellow is a little too thin, and you don't want it to be too thin where the yellow is too thick. So make sure you have it just, perfect amounts. And then you want the tip of the triangle to be where the belly button is. You don't want to go anything below that. Otherwise, it's going to be looking not too Mortal Kombat-ish. It's going to look like a G-string, a thong, or something. So adjust the yellow one. Don't be afraid to duplicate the yellow and actually make it a little bit thicker as much as you want. Play around. Don't forget that the yellow is going to disappear at a certain length of the shoulders, and it's not going to be there. You could always adjust it with the tattoos to the left and right arm, but the less work you do now, the better. Now we're going to go with shape 26, which is the outline of the black square. That's how you're going to get the little squares on the front side of the ninja as well as the back. It's very important, guys, that you focus on this. And I use these because sometimes the shapes or the squares, they're too thick. And even with the scaling, the line is just too thick. No matter how you play it, if you use the outline and you duplicate it, it's not going to be as thick, and it's going to layer, so it's going to be really nice and give it that nice, it looks like an actual square. It gives it enough time to separate. It looks nice. You're going to duplicate it all the way up until the shoulders. Keep in mind of spacing. Spacing is really important because you don't want them to be too thin, too big. It's really up to you guys right here. I only use a certain amount, as you can see in the video, and I did it as well as the back. The back I get to a little bit later. Once I realized that the back was a little too open, as you can see right here, I wasn't able to actually do the back in the first TUCAF because I was a little rushed on time. So far, so good. It looks nice. We're going to add the black pant to each leg, guys, with the shin guards, the yellow shin guards, as he does in the normal Mortal Kombat game, movie, whatever. All the way up. Make sure it wraps around. Stretch it past the toes. Then you're going to hit it with this shape right here. I forget the shape. Let's see here. There you go. Perfect. Shape 32, yellow. Flip it. Make sure the pointy side is down towards the ankle, and then the square side is more towards the knee. Make it cover the shin, and then we're going to add a black triangle, which is shape number 10. And you're going to want to make sure that you make a slight adjustment. Make it a little bit thin. Make it just below the square of the yellow, and have it pointed down to the toes. It looks like the shin guard. It'll look really nice. It's a nice little detail to add there. And guys, what you do to one side, you're going to do to the other side as well. Really simple. There you go. It could be symmetrical. It could be a little off. That is 100% up to you guys. I haven't figured out a trick to actually make it kind of stay together as far as it being the same size. I just do a rule of thumb. If it looks the same, it's the same. They're not going to notice when you're kicking their ass with Scorpion at all. You know, they're not going to be getting tapped down and be like, damn, that, you know, that tattoo's a little crooked. They're not going to say that. All right. Now we're going to be working on the arms, guys. I messed up a little bit. There you go. We're going to work on the arms, which is going to be the forearm guard and the wrist bracelet pretty much. You want to get it just below the elbow. Hit it with a black square, guys. Go all the way around. Then you're going to hit it with a black triangle. It's going to be the pointy part for the elbow. See here. Make sure it's not too high, because too high could mess up the design a lot. See, there you go. Put it where it's just a little bit above the elbow. Then you're going to follow it with a yellow triangle. Stretch it out. Make sure you have a thin outline at the very top of the triangle. There you go. And like I said, we're going to add a detail to it, which is going to be another black triangle. Flip it, and there you go. Stretch it out just so thin till you get a little line. And then what you do to one side, guys, you're going to do to the other. Now, you could always mess with it. It's up to you, 100%. Now, like I was saying earlier, a little bit of it's gonna stick out. You wanna give it the little shoulder pads. Go ahead and get a black triangle. There's no adjustment, there's no scaling, just rotate it a little bit to where it's not overlapping. Then you're gonna add a yellow triangle. I gave it a little bit of space away from the shoulder pads. Line it up a little bit, thin it out. There you go. We're gonna hit the top later with some yellow squares. I'm not gonna do that at the moment. What you do to one side, you're going to do to the other. Go ahead and get that triangle situated real quick. Hit it with the yellow. Again, don't be afraid to rotate your character. Rotate it. If it looks perfect to you, that's all that matters. Put it there. And now we're gonna be focusing on, like I said, the forearm guard and the wrist wrapping. Make sure it looks symmetrical to you. Hit it with the black triangle, not too high. Make sure that it is pointy though. Looks good. Hit it with a yellow triangle, stretch it out a little bit. Make it a little bit wide, so where it has like a thin outline. Look at that, perfect. And we're gonna hit it with some definition, some detail with a black triangle. Thin it out just a little bit. Get it as close as possible. That was a little too thick there. That looks a little bit more like it. And you are technically done, guys. The rest of the video is going to be added details, and it's going to be stuff that maybe you don't want to add, maybe you do. For example, this is going to be the black and yellow belt that I have for him. I usually would have done the skull, as you've seen me do in UFC 3, but we don't have the white skin, and some of the details for the tattoos are not going to really show on these actual tattoos. So make sure you have a yellow square wrapped around. Then you're gonna hit it with a black square wrapped around. You're gonna thin it out to where there's a thin outline of yellow to give it some character. And here, you're going to see me do the back of the ninja costume. Rotate it around. Get it nice and center. You don't have to play with it that much. You can just duplicate the original one that's on the chest and put it on the back, guys. And the same technique that you did with these squares, you can do it on the back as well. Just copy, paste, or if you don't feel like doing it, maybe you got lost, you lost track of it, go ahead and just get the black square outline and put it on there and just adjust it and make sure to duplicate it to get it a thicker outline color. And keep in mind the spacing. You don't want it to be too thin or too big. And at this point, you're practically done. You're just adding in little details here and there to make it more comfortable for you. And we're almost done with this tutorial, guys. I hope you've been keeping track. I hope you're able to keep up. I hope it's not too fast, not too difficult. Hope I'm not talking too much as well, guys. You know, I have to help you guys build it so you guys feel comfortable, not only just in the process of making it, but you feel confident in taking it into online ranked and getting your division points up. Take a look around, guys. Right here, like I said, we're gonna add these yellow squares, thin them out just a little bit, put them on top, make sure it's not cutting into none of your design whatsoever. What you do to one side, you're going to do to the other. There you go. See, I'm a little bit concerned here because it was covering a little bit of the square. Like I said, adjust it, move some things up, and you have Scorpion in this game, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, just focus on little things here and there, little details, and you're gonna be extremely happy with what you have made, guys. Like I said, adding a little bit of details. Make sure you get the Shapes 23, the yellow, thin it out, wrap it all the way around, layer it, duplicate it, and you should have a little bit of added definition to the belt. Other than that, guys, I believe that I am done with this creation. Let me know in the comment section if this was easy for you guys, how it came out. Go ahead and @ me on Twitter with a picture. I would love to see the creations that you guys made. Other than that, guys, enjoy your creation. I'm out!
the champion of the world, Killing Spree 37!